Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of Sportified Minds, a program which explores the role of physical and mental conditioning in sporting success. My guest today is Mr. Atul Wassan, cricketer turned commentator. He represented Delhi and India in a first-class career spanning a decade and is in a select list of less than 300 people who have played Test cricket for the country. A hard-working cricketer, Mr. Wassan turned to commentary to continue his association with the game after his career was cut short by an injury. He will be sharing his insight about playing professional sports at the highest level and what it takes to be successful. Welcome, Mr. Wassan.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go straight into the questions. What attracted you to sports in general and cricket in particular?
I think this question can be answered in layered manner because, in our time, because this was maybe a couple of generations ago, it was the only option because we didn't have so many, things to actually occupy us like internet and DTH, Netflix and all. So only thing which was we used to get one channel and we used to get a movie every weekend. And the only thing for us to do was go out and play. And in schools also, there was a lot of space available in those days in cities. So all the schools used to have big grounds. Now, it's very constrained. So it was just a part of the life. You were playing sport all year round. We used to play soccer in winter, cricket in summer, and whatever used to come along. And so I think that time, when I was playing for the school, we were winning in many sports. So I thought, let me take it up seriously, and I started going to this coaching center when I was 14. And gradually, when you play for under 15 Delhis, then people say, okay, you are good, so you keep on going. And then your mind is made up that, okay, let me try and see how far I can go. And then it kept on going from there.
So, how did you learn about being selected for India's tour of New Zealand in 1989-90? And how did it feel to have actually made it to the national team?
That was the only charm. I speak to a lot of cricketers today, even they're not playing for India. They are making good money. They're playing IPL, they're playing franchise cricket, even domestic cricket. They get very good, decent amount of money. So they can call cricket as a career. It was never the same for us because we just wanted to play for to get that India cap. Because there was no career. You could not make a living playing cricket. So when I was 18, I just got into the Delhi team. I was the captain of Delhi University. And so I started playing as a professional in England in summers in county cricket. So that used to keep me going and used to provide me some funds to look after me. So it went on for a couple of years because Delhi was a very strong team. It was very difficult to get a chance because almost 5 or 6 players were playing for India. So I had to wait my chances for 2 years, and suddenly in '89 I got my chance to play against the rest of India in Mumbai. It was a selection match before the Pakistan tour where Tendulkar made his debut. So I just missed out going on that team. I was the first standby. But that season, I took about 50 wickets. By the time Indian team came back from Pakistan, we were going to go to New Zealand. And I got picked and I played my first test match in Christchurch.
What was your fitness regimen like as a professional cricketer?
Oh, again, a very good question because today's fitness levels are much, much better. But I was a fast bowler. So fast bowlers, get a lot of toll on their bodies. And Indian pitches also are not very good. So you have to work hard. And I used to be, a fanatic. I used to run 10 kilometers every day. And I used to maybe practice 6-7 hours all year round. And by that comparison, not many people used to be, very focused about fitness. We used to get butter chicken at lunch by the time, when we were playing Ranji Trophy. So those were the days. But today's cricketers, I see Virat in so focused. Even one bite which goes into his mouth is measured. He knows what he's got to eat at what time. So this is the kind of personal attention the players are getting. So their fitness levels are better. They are managing their carbs and their fats. So their body fat is maintained by their trainers and it's monitored by the NCA. So all this thing is there, and then obviously the fitness level. You see the fielding, the dive, and the way they run. So your stamina goes up. So this is the times where if you're not fit, you will not last. You can be very talented, but you will not survive. In our time, somebody very talented like Weng Sarkar, he was very talented, but he never used to run. So he just played on talent. But in these days, he wouldn't have lasted.
So, how did you prepare yourself mentally before each match?
Again, because a lot of focus is on mental. So I'm just comparing. You're asking me questions, so I know I've lived that, and I relate it to what is happening now because I see. So the Indian team or all the major domestic teams have got a mental conditioning coach, which actually, because every human is different. So you cannot have one size fit all. In our time, just say, come on, let's fight, and we used to go there, and it was up to you how strong you were inside to take the pressure and carry on, because there was no focus by the coach to handle you. Now these conditioning coaches know exactly which buttons to push. So every player has got a profile, and their history is charted. Some players give you the best by sarcasm. Some players actually get deflated if you use too much. So you have to use a different tactic, and these coaches know exactly how to do it. And then they've got meditation. A lot of yoga has come in. All these players actually, they live a very stressed life to perform, to travel, fans and adulation. So it's not easy. So I think if cricket was as big as this, most of the players would have struggled without any help from outside.
Did you look forward to a pressure situation such as bowling the last over of an ODI?
Huh. Yeah, because I used to relish that, because if you, some people actually shy away from those situations, so they are not very confident. But I was somebody who used to just take a chance. If you do well in that situation, you become a hero straight away. So you look for opportunities where, people are scared, and then you just raise your hand. These days also, players are different. I mean, some players actually, they go head on into the battle, but some players just shy away. Like in the Indian team, if you see Ajinkya Rahane, if you see, or Cheteshwar Pujara, they're not very aggressive, but Delhi boys, Shikhar Dhawan, Virat, you can see in the body language, and they will take on, they will abuse, because they're Punjabis also. It's in our blood in North India. So it's cultural also. It's how you've been brought up, and what is your family background also. So that's why Indian team never won that time. But this time, players know that even if they don't do well, they've got IPL, they've got India A tour. So they give their best. So this kind of security net was not there. So we were very depressed when we never used to do well. We were just wondering where will our next check was going to come from? What will I do when I go home? Because you don't have jobs, you've not studied much. So it was like a zero-sum game. So stressful times.
Who, in your opinion, is the fittest and most mentally tough cricketer in the Indian team today?
Oh, hands down, I think Virat Kohli. Uh, Mentally tough, I would say Cheteshwar Pujara, because he is the kind of player who's got the patience to stand 2 hours. Virat is somebody who is mentally tough, but he likes to attack. So uh, physical fitness, of course, Virat, there is no doubt. But mental fitness, people would say that if you're aggressive, you're mentally fit. But no, I think if you're just patient and just grind the opposition out, then you're also mentally fit.
So, speaking of Virat Kohli, he went on record about his near breakdown during the 2014 tour of England. Do you think a sports psychologist is a necessity given the demands of modern day cricket?
Yeah, I think that was early days, and Indian team had a conditioning coach that time. But maybe Virat was trying too hard, and I remember that time I used to speak to him. He got upset with me because when he was not getting runs. But I've seen him as a kid. He's from my academy. I've supported him. I picked him first time for Delhi team. I was selector. But I think some players. But he was too confident about his ability that he never felt that if I fail here, I'm not a good player. That thought never crossed his mind. Other players might feel that, am I good enough to be at this level? But Virat never went through that. He knew that his form will come back. So that kind of conviction you must have.
The Australians consider sledging a form of mental disintegration. I'm sure you must have been sledged in your career before. So then, how did you respond to it?
Yeah, in my first game against Australia, I almost started crying because Border, who was very senior to me, it was my first game. We were playing in Wellington, and and David Boone, and these big Dean Jones. Indian players were very submissive, very good boys, good tourists, and we used to lose because we used to just never give it back to them. But now Indian players are giving more than they get.
So then, what was the funniest situation you ever encountered with them?
Oh, many. On my tours, I've played cricket in more than 30 countries, and traveled with players. You are on 2, 3 months on a tour. Um, I can tell you a few, but then I have to keep a note of it. I'll remember them next time.
Yeah. The Indian cricket team was dominated by players from Delhi and Mumbai, but now many are from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Is it because of the popularity of the game, or is there a greater hunger to succeed in the smaller towns of India?
Yeah, you've got a good point because not many people understand at that time, Delhi, Bombay, and Chennai used to be the powerhouses of Indian cricket. So you used to have facilities, coaches, grounds, and the way to get to the catch the eye. The players from smaller towns used to have to struggle to come and play district cricket, and if they had to be noticed, they had to come and stay here in Delhi. Very hard for them. But suddenly, when we won, we'll always have a skewed overestimation of your ability, and then that affects you, and you also feel that you are good. If you're not getting selected, then you will feel that, oh, there's a cheating going on. So the desire is there, but you have to take a reality check. And so this is the problem, because you can succeed, but only just being talented, there's only one box you can tick. There are 6 boxes: mental strength, physical fitness, your temperament, and of course luck is also main. So everything has to fall into uh, a place for you to be a successful player.
Many young boys and now girls dream to play for India, but very few do so. Less than 300 have played Test cricket for the country, and the number of women is only at 83. What do you think is the X factor between being good and great?
Yeah, actually, this is amazing because we have been playing Test cricket for 80 years, and I think 294. My Test cap is 180, 190, and because Tendulkar is 189. So do you imagine? I played in 1989, so that's 31 years, and only around 100 players. So this is, so this is how, because Test cricket is the real test. But out of these 295 players, I think 250 have played less than 10 matches, I think, or 20 matches. So there's a lot of churning. Indian cricket was not mature enough to actually be patient with the players sometimes, and there was too much zonal pressures and from zones and all to get their players in the team. So a lot of time injustice was also done. But now I think it's more transparent because uh, the there's too much focus. The media is there. Everybody's watching the matches on television. So those kind of things cannot happen today.
Cricket is considered a religion in India, and there's a lot of fame and money. What is your advice to a young cricketer who's on the cusp of making it to the national team?
Um, anybody who's playing domestic cricket would feel that he's one step closer, but it's not like that. We've got too many first-class teams, so I think our quality is diluted. But I do this test. I go to these academies, and I see youngsters, and they. So I ask them, who wants to play IPL? Everybody raises their hand, and I say, who wants to play for India? And then so this is the effect I see of fame and money, that even the kids are influenced, which is sad because playing for India should be the ultimate, and everything falls into it. But because of the visibility and the glamour and the money, these kids are influenced to play IPL, and they are not bothered to play for India. So, which is quite strange, and I think this has to be fixed at their home and their schools and their academies.
Thank you, Mr. Wassan. Your observations drawn from experiences during the course of your own career helped shed light on how cricket has transformed into a viable career. Diet and training regimes have undergone a drastic change, and self confidence, mental conditioning, and physical fitness are now an integral part of the sport. You have played the game at the highest level, and I'm sure those who aspire to do so will benefit from your views. Thank you.
All the best.